What?
You live.
I'm live already?
Yes, you are.
Well, Mickey didn't give me a chance to share with everybody. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. How's everyone doing out there? Just give me a few minutes. Tell a friend to tell another friend to tell another friend to join in. You can find us on 810 News Media Group page or Wyntis Hall Facebook page or Pastor Janard Lakes Facebook page. So tune in. You know, Mickey won't give me my 5-minute countdown, so
He won't give you
he
that
won't give me my
countdown.
5-minute countdown, so I gotta
It's live and in color.
live and in color. You know, he won't give me my glam squad. He won't give me none of that, so I gotta do all of this myself. Hold on, guys. We are almost ready to get started. Again, thank you all for joining in to the Wyntis Hall show tonight. I appreciate all of you. One more minute. Give a few more people a second to join in. Mickey, did you share it to all the groups for me?
Yeah, because they waiting on you.
Oh, they waiting on me. Okay, well we just gonna go ahead and get started then. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Hey, little sister. Well, hey, big sister, Chris. That's my big sister, Christine. And hey, Kevin Tay and First Lady Miss Hill. I have to say hello to the people that's popping up. So, welcome to another edition of the Wyntis Hall Show. I'm walking into my new season with my new hairstyle, so find something to talk about with this one. And here we have tonight, I am so honored and elated to have Pastor, look, I'm calling him Pastor. Pastor, right, Pastor Janard Lakes. What church?
Spirit of Victory Outreach Ministries.
And that is where?
At 2920 West Court Street.
And Sundays at what time?
At 12:30
So see,
p.m.
we do that at the beginning, and we'll go over that again at the end. So thank you, Janard, for coming on tonight.
Glad to be with you.
Such a pleasure. Listen, you guys, me and Janard go so far back. We go from like what's the old song, from the cradle to the grave. From the cradle, we go way back. But all I can say is thank God we don't look like what we've been through. I'm telling you, we don't look like what we've been through. Hey, Shardy, hello. Hello, Maria and Derek, Monique. Hey, Mama, everybody watching. So, as always, my topics with the pastors, are we moving in the right direction? And I like to compare, 2019 to 2022.
Okay.
Are we in a better position now? Are we in a worse position, or are we just stagnant? Are we just the same? I know from my perspective, the water, and it's turned into, as Pastor Hill would say, when we start celebrating something, that's not good, because that means we've gotten comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. And so we came up on the 8th year celebration this year of the water being bad. I don't know what's it to celebrate, but Janard, what's your take on everything that's going on?
So for the last, when it comes down to the water, mm-hmm. It's bad that we were one of the first that I'm seeing other cities that are minority
Right.
that are now having the same water crisis.
Yes.
And for it to take as long as it did with our water situation, it always puzzles me because if it was in some other place,
Right.
some other city outside of the city of Flint, that those problems would have been fixed instantly.
Absolutely.
It would have never lingered this long.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in the direction that we're going when it comes down to our water crisis, not knowing the fallout, dealing with a lot of our youth that we deal with today,
Mm-hmm.
watching their behavior issues and different things that we don't know, even from the water. What is the overall long-term effects of what happened to our children, especially those that were not tested,
Mm-hmm.
or those that were, what that looks like in the long run. And so my prayer is that we become proactive to show other people that's affected with the same thing how we handle the situation.
Absolutely.
And then what do we do to combat some of the problems that have come out from our water crisis?
Mm-hmm.
We can look at our houses. We
Right.
can look at the way that our city with things that have most of this, it almost looked like country with all of these regular lots with no homes
Right.
that you can
Right.
go through whole blocks and see. And so I believe that there will be a comeback for us, for our city. Definitely believe that. But I just believe that there needs to be some spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spring cleaning.
And so, as you know, we believe this year, when we were praying, that God said that there would be a change in other guards. And what we believe a change in other guards is sometimes things have to start from the head up that trickles all the way down.
Absolutely.
And so we believe that there's changes that's happening at the top that will trickle down to the bottom.
Right.
And so that's where I believe with the water crisis. As far as us 3 years ago, I mean, going back to 19 to where we are today, I am excited because I see a lot of people who have stepped out in faith for entrepreneurship.
Right. Right.
I've seen entrepreneurs spring up like never before,
Right.
particularly in African American communities. So, people who were good at whatever skill they had have been able, whether it's through the pandemic
Mhm.
or different things that have dried up, it gave people the courage to step out and say, I'm going to try whatever vision that's in my heart. I'm going to give it a shot.
Right.
And so I see all types of things that are popping up. So I salute all entrepreneurs because I'm an entrepreneur myself.
Yes.
And I salute entrepreneurs. So I believe that during this period of time, people have taken advantage of it in a positive way. And then, it's some that's like the little train that caboose ain't yet picked up,
Right.
to build momentum to go further. So you have people that are stuck from it when it comes down to our mental illness, which is I'm very, very, very aware of what's going on in our community with
Right.
that, how COVID has affected people's minds,
Right.
how it has affected their ability to isolate, to be all right with not being around people, and the effects that have had on different people. So
And it's like one crisis after another.
it is.
Especially with Flint, we got hit with the water crisis, and then COVID, and it's just put that violence on top of that, and it just seems like we just are lost. We just running around. Everybody's on their own page, and we don't know what to do.
And that's the thing about us, that we've been so introduced. We've been so accustomed to separatism, being separated from everybody,
Right.
not being united to do anything. And that's never been how we were raised. We talk about it takes a village to raise a child,
Absolutely.
but the village now,
It's just
there's no
falling apart.
village.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
It's no
Everybody,
village.
you do your own thing, stay in your own hut, mind your own business, and don't get involved with those things. And I remember growing up on Holbrook Street, it was nothing for my mom to see violence that was happening. For somebody that's getting jumped on by drugs, that she'd be out there with her broom.
Right.
Get off of them.
Right. Leave them alone.
Y'all leave them alone.
Mhm.
And they respected her enough
Right.
to be able to do that. But in the days that we're in now, when they talk about the village and all of the things that we have going on, that we don't have people that's willing to step up to be a part of that village.
No, Janard, they gotten so bold now. It just they pull up like the mafia movies in front of the house, and they get out the car and shoot up the house. Like this stuff has gotten out of control. But then we're steady hit with the blinders of violence is down. Well, I guess so. You killed everybody last year, you know. But what particular violence is down? To me, you can't tell me violence is down when somebody's getting shot and killed every other day.
And that's true, because last year alone, I preached 56 funerals.
56, Janard?
56.
And I bet you they was all our age.
Most of them were younger kids. Overdose was a big one. Pills, fentanyl.
Wow.
Another big one was homicide. Young people being killed in the streets. And because I work sometime part-time at the funeral home, I see it twice. I see it as the person sometimes that helps to dress them. I see it sometimes as the person that is responsible for helping to give them that last cut. And then if they don't have any type of religious affiliation, then sometimes I'm the person that's picked to eulogize them. So to see it, you know, all of the violence that we face, up to the fact of, I remember one young man he was shot violently on the north side 13 times. Two gunshots to the back of the head that we had to rebuild his head in order for his family to be able to see him without a hat. And so, you know, when you talk about the violence, I think that we have gotten so desensitized to all of the stuff around us because it happens on a rapid basis, that is the only way that people feel like they are able to solve a problem is to kill you.
Right. Because I mean, you know, now it's not like back in the day we fight in the club or fight in the streets and we good. You know, we walk away and we good. It's almost to the point now, if you get into a fight with somebody, you gotta end it.
And the thing, it's been amplified. You know, in our day, you just, you know, you get back to school, everybody talking about the fight.
Right.
But now in our social media day, where somebody goes live and in less than an hour, it's viral of something violent happening to you. And the person feels like they're obligated because I'm the laughing stock. Everybody know it.
Right.
So I got to get my lick back.
Yeah.
I gotta be able to, you know, make this person feel. And this is not the generation that think about consequences.
No.
It's about now.
Right.
And if I do it now, I suffer the consequences later, but they never think about the consequences later until it's too late.
Yeah.
And so those are some of the things that we face with the violence that we got going on. We got some of our young ladies just as violent as our guys.
Oh,
you know,
the women. I've never seen stuff like I seen the women do now. And I wonder, like, what they gonna look like when they get 70 or 80 years old. They still gonna be having them BBLs and can't walk on the walkers and stuff. But you're right, they fight just like the men do.
And we're in a different day that even with some of my nieces, I'm never comfortable with you calling me bro. I'm your uncle.
Right.
You know, I'm not your bro.
Right.
And I think that the violence is almost, we can match just as much as the guys is doing. And so with the 56, I've seen violence on both sides. It's not just been our young guys.
And that hurts me when you say 56 and you being a pastor. Does it make you numb? Are you getting numb to the fact that you got to see this all the time? Like 56 funerals, Janard, that's a lot.
It's a lot. And, you know, sometimes in those settings, sometimes I have to take a step back because it is just like all of the violence. If you watch it on television, you listen to it in songs, it is a way that you can become desensitized to it. Absolutely. It becomes your norm.
Right.
It's almost like what we used to hear about going on in Chicago. And they say 155 people was killed today.
Right. That
their way of life now is just accustomed to people dying early.
Right.
Our music, our videos, everything that we see has desensitized us to the place that it don't even grieve us no more.
No, it's like we
hear about kids getting killed, you know, you feel bad. Oh man, that was sad. But you go right on.
Right.
You hear about somebody losing their family or some young man getting killed violently in the street. It doesn't provoke us now to want to change, to do something. We've gotten accustomed and we're so comfortable with it that we just say, well, I hope it's not mine. At least mine's safe.
And what bothers me is I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old, and we drive down the street and they see balloons or they see the rest of the yellow tape hanging from the fence, and it's like, oh, mama, somebody got killed there. That's not, it shouldn't be normal.
It shouldn't be
way
normal
of
for
living,
us.
right? But it's
And-
become that
And
way.
it has.
And we got to do better. We
We
got to
do.
do better in Flint, you know. And like you said, if the head is a little wobbly, then the body is not going to function right. You talked about changing the guards. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I am. You know, I am.
Come on, pop off.
Weaver and Neely.
Okay.
And tell me why.
All right. Well, I got the opportunity to meet both.
Okay.
But the day, I remember when Mayor Weaver was coming around, she was campaigning, and she ended up coming to Greater Galilee.
Okay,
on
down.
that day.
Okay, I know where
with
that is.
Pastor
Okay.
Luttrell
Okay.
Holmes.
Luttrell
I was the
Holmes, yeah.
speaker that day.
Okay.
And I remember my mama saying to her, when she was saying, what are we going to do this? My mama said, oh, you're going to win. You're going to get this. And I remember we had the conversation to say, hey, you know, I get in, she seen me working with the youth. And so said, one day we're going to work together. And unfortunately, I said, we will. Well, unfortunately, the first time we never got an opportunity to work together. However,
right? Look, I'm listening. Not like I'm trying to stop sharing because I want to see how.
My heart is this: that when I pray and I ask for people, I believe she has a heart for God, and I believe she has a heart for people. I have a heart for God and a heart for people. So I love that about her. I don't really know too much about Mr. Neely, as far as, you know, I've been around, but I don't really know too much about him. My job is to know people by the Spirit.
Right.
What's the spirit behind the individual? And I love her spirit. I love the fact that she's warm. I love the fact that she came to my shop.
Right.
She talked about it. Her concerns was for common people.
She came to your shop?
She came to my shop.
Wow.
And so she was at our shop probably about a week ago, and to listen to our concerns, that really adds value because I'm concerned about the city too.
Right.
And when you have common people that are able and you're reachable and you're touchable, then that I love her.
And sincere.
And I love her.
Yep. I love her sincerity. Okay. I wish I would have met her a long time ago. I've noticed just going out with Dr. Weaver, the people love her. And she has this way with people, and people are like, oh, we need you back, and we need this change, we need this good feeling back in our city, especially on the north end. And you also cut hair, and I know you and you pastor, so you talk to people from all walks of life. And I don't feel the warmth and the togetherness. I don't care how many times you give me festivals and parades and whatever. Things need to be done. We need to put aside those feel-good moments. And when people understand or actually look for themselves and realize, I don't have to sit up here and no one has to lie and tell the people that it hasn't been a pipe change since 2019. So you can't come out on election year and say, I love the city, I love all of you, I want to do everything for you, but you've been there and you haven't done anything for your people. That concerns me. So we talk about the water, we go to the water settlement. The floor, not the ceiling. This is just the floor, it's not the ceiling. And then when we get in it, companies drop out. And then we learn about these children that are affected now, and you talk about mental health and mental health awareness. They won't even get their money until they're 18. And not knowing if something happens between now and 18, their mother or their parents thinking that they're doing things in the best interest for them. If whatever could happen to us down the road, they're signing away their rights. And the lawyers are walking away with all the money. What's your take on that?
Then I just believe in those situations, you know, when we talk about, and I'm kind of, this is just me.
Right, I know you. Go ahead, give it to me.
When it talks about spiritual wickedness in high places. There are hierarchy of spiritual wickedness. And
Tell me about it.
When you deal with certain people over regions, particularly this particular region, and there's an opportunity for greed to come in. Greed is a horrible thing, especially when you're able to take advantage of people who are vulnerable.
Yeah.
And what I mean by vulnerable is, as long as you can give me $1, no research,
Right.
no investigation. If I can get it now because you're in crisis, so relief now. Give me relief now.
Right.
And I'll settle for whatever you give me.
Right.
I don't ever think that it's good to take advantage of a situation because you know a person needs it. It's just like a person to say, I give you what's valuable to me if you just buy me a burger.
That's crazy.
What you have is way more value than the burger that you're asking for, but because you're hungry and you're in a crisis,
they're taking
that
advantage of that.
you're taking advantage of. And I get what's of value to you by something that's no value to me.
Right.
And so I believe that when we deal with people with this water crisis, and then people have taken settlements, because you know what a settlement really means.
Right. Right.
You know, sometimes people say, hey, this situation, you can get 200, you can get $5 million. We can settle for 400,000.
Right. They gonna take
right
it.
now.
Right. We need it
If
right
I need
now.
money, guess what I'm gonna do?
I'm taking the 400,000.
Right. But I don't think that that's a good thing, to take advantage of people at vulnerable moments.
This never should be a good thing. Never should be a good thing, but it happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
Yep.
And so when we talk about spiritual wickedness in high places, and we talk about the changing of the guards, however those guards need to change, and there's been proof about the changing of the guards, we can look at how people have been wiped off the scene.
Right.
People that we never thought would be dead. What I mean by the changing of the guards is there's quick, rapid. We call this a year of acceleration. Things are it's happening so rapid. We already in September. Look like we just celebrated New Year's Eve
Happy New
a few months ago.
Right.
You know, but now this year is almost up. And so I just believe that as we see things, my belief is God give you an opportunity. And if you don't prove yourself during that opportunity, while you're in the game pitching, there's always somebody in the bullpen warming up.
Always.
So
always getting ready for your spot.
There's a replacement for you.
Right.
You know,
there's
always a replacement for you. And so, you know, we got to be grateful that when we get in certain positions and we are afforded the opportunity, and we say that we're there to serve people, that we actually do that. Because if not, your replacement is on the way. And I don't think it's going to take a long time.
Right.
Things happening rapidly.
And like you said, we don't take care of our people. And I know you ain't always been a pastor. What did Tupac say? We got money for war, but we ain't got money for us here, or however the song went.
Exactly.
But it's still like that. And we still have these conversations over and over and over again. We talk about voting. We can't get the people out to vote. There's no interest in voting. People feel like, oh, my voice won't be heard. What does it matter? It's still the same recycled politicians.
Correct.
I feel like until people get behind whoever wins, and we all unite, because a lot of people say we want to unite, and child, they could care less about uniting. Okay, it just sounds good for likes,
right,
and Facebook validation, but they don't care about uniting. And we need a leader that will help unite the people. And like you said, can be reachable and is willing to listen to your ideas. What ideas do you have about the city that can make us go forward?
As well, you know, I'm just gonna be honest about me. You know my background. You know, I come from this city. I grew up on the north side of Flint. I grew up in a single parent family house. I went to prison, so I was a felon. Amen. And so my heart.
He's a pastor.
And I'm a pastor. But my heart has always been for the down and outers. even right now, helping felons, trying to help them, if we can't help you find a job, we need to help you create one, or finding the people that hire them. And so some of the solutions to our problems is this, that we, and I always tell people, don't bring me the problem. And I think we have a lot of conversations that we like to sit around and talk about the problems of what's going on. Very few people to sit around and talk about solutions.
Right.
What is the solution to the problem? If the finances are out there, what companies that give our people another opportunity? And when I say that our people, the people from this city, our pastor are almost all African American church. But the funny part about it is when it comes down to people who have not had father figures and big brothers and different things like that, I don't see no color. So I got white sons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
I got a white daughter.
Right.
That's married to another young man that I adopted. And so even with their opportunities that's afforded to them, the hopelessness of just getting people to hope again, getting people to have faith again.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I go out here and I vote, and I go out here and we can rally them up. Because I remember when Obama got in, I remember how people was out like we
was lining up,
lined up,
playing Jeezy.
Here.
President
This is what,
black, right?
It was good. And so that tells me that the spirit of a place can be revived.
Right.
So if the spirit can be revived, if we are so focused on what improves the quality of life, and as a pastor, I'm learning for myself that I just cannot be concerned about your spiritual well-being. Mm-hmm. If your spirit is good, but your mind is bad, I've done a horrible job.
Absolutely.
My job is to make sure we minister to the total man.
Absolutely.
If you're good, you're coming to church, but you making money at a job that you can barely take care of your kids. Mm-hmm. And you going without, because then my job is to help push you in some areas outside of your spirituality. Mm-hmm. What else are you good at?
Right.
What else can you do? I don't care if you cook tacos.
Right.
If we got to find the day that you cook tacos and you got the best tacos, perfect your gift.
Right.
And whatever you're the best at, we're going to make sure that we promote that. Mm-hmm. If that means that you're going to go online and you're going to take your real estate class that you can do in 40 hours, mm-hmm. and you can get your certificate, or you can go online and take your 3-month class, mm-hmm. or you can take your CNA class. Right. What is it that we can do outside of teaching you Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and teaching you Sunday school, mm-hmm. that can help you be a better quality of parent and person for your family?
Absolutely.
So my job, it stretches. Mm-hmm. Old pastors used to have to say, you come, we give you a message, we have revivals. I might have to have a revival to help you revive your credit.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Your credit tore from the floor.
Right.
We may need to have a revival to help you with the programs for first-time homeowners and different things like that we can attack some of the problems. So I believe that helps us to better serve and to help turn our city around. We as the church has got to do more than just preaching on Sunday and being confined to our walls.
That's what I was.
Let's go there.
When I was talking to Pastor Thrill Kill a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about the St. John area, mm-hmm. and how, I was shocked to find out that Black people couldn't go in the outer world until after midnight. Mm-hmm. All they had was the church. That was their meeting spot. That's where they would gather and talk about things. And I feel like as a city, people look to, I know I do, and some may say they don't. And I know it's a lot of people that needs to be reached, but it's some people that look to the pastors for that leadership. Mm-hmm. God put you in a place of leadership. God called you to be the shepherd over his flock. And so, yes, the pastors need to be a leader and stand out and come together and say, this is what we need to do. This is who we need to back. And we all need to get behind this said person, which is Dr. Weaver, and push her forward and help her be successful. She can't do it by herself. She mm-hmm. can't unite the city when three pastors over here that like her and 3 pastors over here that don't. And how can a pastor not like somebody? But you get up in that pulpit and you tell people every Sunday in order to get to heaven, you got to love everybody. That bothers me. And so we got a lot of work to do. But then again, pastors are men too.
They are. But at the end of the day, our job, well, I'm going to talk about what my job is.
Your job. Let's hear about your job.
My job is to make sure, as the Bible says, to pray for those that have rule over us.
Mm-hmm.
My job is to pray for leaders. If you're in that position and you make decisions that affect the quality of life of people, whether you're my personal choice, if you get in that office, it's my job to pray for you and to support you. Mm-hmm. Now, while we're praying for God to replace you.
I can't stand you.
Sweet, quote unquote, had some presidential thing,
right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But while he was in office, it wasn't no sense, presidential, wasn't no sense of me talking about how much I hate the man.
Right.
It was my job to pray for the man.
Mm-hmm.
That God will put wise counsel around him
mm-hmm.
to help him make quality decisions.
Right.
And it was also my job, God, if this is not the man that you put in position,
remove him.
Please remove him.
Remove him.
And
right.
quickly.
Right.
And so I believe that, you know, as pastors, and it's hard to get the people to rally together to push anybody when we can't come together.
Now, that's what I just
That's,
said. Three over here.
The
Three over here.
That most of us can't come together. And whatever that is, you know, because sometimes I came in ministry because I love the people. I don't care nothing about the organizations. Mm-hmm. I don't care nothing about the hierarchy of ministry. I don't care nothing about trying to be superintendents, bishops. I don't care nothing about that.
Right.
That wasn't my aim. But when you have people I can't fellowship with you because you're not on the level where I'm at.
That's sad. That's
bad.
Yeah.
That keeps us divided.
Mm-hmm.
And I myself am non-denominational, but I got brothers that I fellowship with that are Muslim. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I got other brothers that fellowship. So when we are so divided because of you not Baptist Church of God in Christ Apostolic, whatever this craziness is, mm-hmm. if we don't come together in that, it's going to be hard because everybody tries to use what they believe biblically mm-hmm. to say this is the reason why you back a candidate. But not so sometimes in our lovely, beloved city here.
Right. People we just do strange things for a little bit of change. And I'm just going to put it out there.
Well, you know, Judas sold Jesus out. You know,
yeah,
you got the right price. Here go your man.
Right.
You know?
And it seemed like we'll take $5.
And that's the thing. When it comes down to the people that God has called me to, you can't purchase me. I can't be bought. Mm-hmm. When I came back to this city, it wasn't because I needed the money. I left a $4,000-something a week paying job.
Right.
Proof.
I know, Janard. I know.
Lived in a 5,400 square foot house.
Yeah.
Nice little pond in the back.
See?
But God spoke to my heart and said, go back to the city. And he spoke to my heart out of Nehemiah. Go back and rebuild the walls of flint that's been broken down and burned with fire. And
see, people can look at you like me, and I can just say, Dora, who am I talking to? who am I talking to? And what happened to the Janard?
My mind.
But it's so easy to connect with you. And I think it's easier for you to connect with people, as Pastor Hill says all the time. The church and its message doesn't change. Mm-hmm. But the bait that you put on the hook to get people into that church has to change with the time.
It does. And you find out when people don't change, you are now becoming obsolete. Mm-hmm. You're not relevant for the day that we live in. And that's what's happening a lot, that we lose our relevancy because we refuse to change. Mm-hmm. And, you know, my heart is we get all of the people that, you know, I got fellas. You'll be surprised some of the people, and some of you probation officers do not come to my church looking for your people.
I know that's right.
They trying to get their life together. Leave them alone. But those are the people that's drawn to the ministry. It is people who may have had some of the worst, and thank God for You know my conversations in times past. You knew my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But because people can identify with where they knew I came from. And they know that when you step foot in this place, you're not going to be judged. Because such were some of all of us. I don't care how well you clean up.
Right.
And some of y'all that's cleaned up, I know you're dirt. But praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
Amen.
You know.
Look, I said like they say, I know Wyntis. No, you don't know Wyntis.
Good.
You know the Wyntis from the political point, but they don't know.
They don't
back in the day.
day.
But we ain't gonna go back there tonight.
And so, you know, if we have the heart for people,
Uh-huh.
and what I mean by the heart for people, you cannot be broad.
No.
When I came back here, I came back to Job Corps, making $13 an hour.
Wow.
I left a good job. What it took at Job Corps with 8 checks in 2 or 3 months, I made in 1 week. And I said,
I mean, you had
certainly I missed it.
Right.
I want to go back.
Right.
Because I didn't want to, but it's almost like hot bath water.
Mm-hmm.
When I got back to this city, I kept sticking my foot in it. I said, And after a period of time, when I eased myself back into the city, it wasn't about the money. I love the work that I was called to do. I rode around the city for hours, looking at what was around it and telling God, if you call me here, I'm going to do my part.
And I could see the sincerity in your eyes, Janard. You put so many people on the map and they have gone all over the world cutting hair, just shadowing you. You've given them a job, hairstylist. You've had many buildings, probably still doing the hair. You've got so many different titles, but yet it's not just me, Lord. I have to help the people.
Got to help the people. And so from putting people in my house that's been homeless, I remember one time when I had my own house on El Dorado, it was me, and I had 4 empty bedrooms. I was in a 5-bedroom house. Mm-hmm. I took 4 guys that were out in the streets, and some kind of way they just ended up in my barber chair. I don't know how they made it to me.
Right. Yeah, bitch.
Right.
Right.
And I told them, this is my rule. You can stay at my house, and what you see me do is what you can do. If you don't see me do it, you don't do it at my house.
Right.
Number 2, you're going to go to school and get your education. Number 3, you're going to get a trade. Mm-hmm. Number 4, you're going to get a job.
Right.
And so I met a lady that was at a gas station. She hired every guy I sent up there. I got all of them enrolled in barber college. I made sure all of them went to high school and finished.
This is what I'm talking about. See?
Now, 2 of them are still good licensed barbers out there. Mm-hmm. One of them, praise the Lord, he's no longer here. Okay. And then one young man had some mental issues. And so right now he's back and forth dealing with the mental illness that run in his family. Mm-hmm. But it was just the fact of, I'm going to do what I can to push this person in the right direction. And so I believe if everybody played their part, preachers, none of us is a one-man gang. Right. No one man can change this city. No. We got to work together.
No one mayor can change it. I mean, you can have it's no perfect person, but you can have someone that's almost perfect and they still can't do it by themselves.
It's got to take the people that got to work together.
Yes.
And if I'm a toe, be the best toe you can be. Mm-hmm. Don't try to be a hand if you're a foot.
Right.
Play your position.
Right.
And let everybody play whatever position.
It can only be one head.
It's only one head.
On the body.
If you're an ear, be an ear.
Right.
Be the best nose you can be with your nosy self.
There you go. Right.
And what I think that I'm comfortable with is I know who I am, and I know what I'm called to do.
Oh, I just love that. That just melts my soul.
I know who I am.
Right. I know who you are,
and I know
too.
Who I'm called to be.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many, like I said, there's so many different people that you can reach. Mm-hmm. And let's go down the list. Let me see some of the comments. Terrence O'Sales, John O. Snow, he has a platform too. He says, never prejudge. They talked about Jesus Christ. I love that. This right here is a true testimony. Fell in the pastor. All right, all right. Just going down because Mickey left me here.
Mickey left us.
Mickey left me. I did see where Terrence mentioned something about the water crisis in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
Also, Councilwoman Tanya Burns. Hey, Tanya, thank you for tuning in. The lead lines have not all been replaced. I have a resident in my ward whose water tested for lead is 21. I think it's parts per billion, and the EPA standard is 15 parts per billion. We have some problems with the chaotic administration, and that bothers me. Like I said, that water just bothers me. I seen something on Facebook the other day, Fenton, Michigan, where they're in I think a 30-day boil water advisory.
Okay.
Whatever problem they going on, Janard, I bet you it's gonna be fixed in 15 days.
It is.
And that's a shame.
It is.
But 8 years, and they changing pipes to the house, with leaving the main pipe in the road that's still corroded, and it's still gonna corrode the new pipes.
Mm-hmm.
But moving past the water, but I still think that Mayor Weaver needs to get back and finish where she started.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what was said, she was on the path to fix the pipes.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's move to violence in the city.
Let's talk about it.
Janard, how can we reach the young people? Because it's people out here. I look at some young people going to the stores. Some of them will hold the doors, and some men will walk in, and you got to catch the door. And it's almost like you're looking through them.
Mm-hmm.
They just have no soul.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do to get them interested in a place so they can love their environment, love their city, and most of all, love themselves? What do you do?
There's a love deficit. And when a person never feels like they themselves are loved, they don't have love for anybody.
See,
the amount of children, my family always, we can tell each other we love each other. I was hugged. I was told that I love you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not hard for me to show love because I receive love.
Right.
Well, we got a generation of kids that didn't receive love.
Right.
Was cussed out, was talked about. I was talking to a young man, I'm running into a lot of people as adults who feel like their parents never loved them. I don't know how that feels. And when you talk about the coldness that you can look through a person and see no life in them, when you got young kids who raise themselves, parents messed up on drugs, daddies who had pleasure,
right,
but didn't take responsibility, that might be in prison themselves.
Right.
One day I took a month, and every person, this is when homicide was high in our city, I went through every obituary, and I counted how many children that the guy who was deceased had. Out of a whole month, if you look at how many children would be raised in single-parent family homes because their father died a violent death, I think I counted like 42 kids.
In 1 month.
In 1 month that would never have a father, never have a disciplinarian, never have a person who is able to bring some balance to their life. 42 kids. And if those are young men that is raised in our city, and when you have mothers, see, our parents protected us.
Right, right.
If they had stress going on, we didn't know it.
Sure didn't.
If I was eating me some toast that I made in the oven and put me some cinnamon and some
powdered
sugar, we was good. We was eating hot dogs.
Right.
We was good. If we lit a candle because the lights was out, they didn't bring their stress and put it on the kids.
Nope, never did.
We went to school and we was happy.
Yep.
These kids have experienced stuff that parents don't guard their kids from.
Right.
If you watch your mama get beat up, you've watched all kinds of stuff. And then now in the social media age, where you have parents trying to be children, trying to be friends.
Right.
My mama with her lips all tooted up and her booty out, because she trying to show somebody on Facebook. if this is what we're showing as an example, it starts with some of our parents.
There you go.
That's where it starts at.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't, my mama would come up to the school. You're not calling my mama, and I'm up there showing out.
Man,
When she showed up at that school, but we were scared of our parents.
And not just your mama. When my mama would walk into our classroom and sit down, everybody straighten up because they like Miss Marshall about to get the tripping a bit. And they already knew. From the baddest ones to the Rico, you, Monty, Kareem, everybody already knew. We can't, Miss Marshall go back and tell our mamas, then that's a double.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
And you didn't, but when you don't have parents involved like that, you call home now as a teacher. And the mama come out and cuss you out.
Sure do.
She take the side of the kid. She can't control her 14-year-old, her 13-year-old that's now hanging out, that's getting high, that's popping pills.
Right. With their mama sometimes.
With the moms.
I never understood, we got mothers and daughters, mothers and sons, fathers and sons. They go and hang out now. They go pick up women together in the club. That's not right to me.
Or, I'm in the barbershop setting and say a father is there. I'm in a barbershop setting and you bring your 2-year-old to me to get his hair cut. And he smelled like he just burned one with you in the car. He smelled like just as much weed as the dad does because they don't protect their kids. They expose their kids to all kinds of things. Until we get people to start allowing children to be children again without exposing them to too much adulthood, or my mama, listen, you're going to turn that TV off.
Yeah.
You don't get no books.
Yeah.
But if I can give you an iPad or I can give you a tablet and that's going to keep you busy.
That's what I'm going to give to you, so I ain't got to be bothered with you.
And you're going on places, you're watching videos you ain't got no business watching.
Right, because we can't monitor everything.
You can't monitor everything. Yeah. But when we get parents back involved into the quality of life of their children, and people that know that those kids are in bad situations. We were doing a mentoring program at Hamady, me and some guys. And so when we sat down and we were asking, they were asking us, well, what guys do you think would be beneficial for your mentorship program? I said some of the felons I know. Now they disqualified. I'm not talking about they disqualified because you're a felon.
Right.
But you got a street background that you have the relatability to these kids that come out of these bad places.
Yes.
We're not talking about felons that have a problem with touching kids.
Right.
Or violence.
Right.
But thank God that we ran into a young lady that had decided we're going to let you select the guys. We're going to do an eye chat to make sure that they don't have any childhood offenses. But because they've changed, these guys are going to be mentors. And they gave us the kids who had behavioral problems, the kids who was kicked out of school the most, had attendance problems. And they gave us, all of the kids that they had problems with. There was a list of kids.
And those kids will listen to you because they go, I don't want to hear another pastor. But then you'd be like, hey, I went to prison. He'd be like, hey, he went to prison.
And we got those guys that they gave us. I remember one young guy had behavioral problems. And so they said, you get to talking about him, he'll tear this whole school up. But the problem was this. His mom was in jail. His dad was raising him in a single parent family home. They were staying with somebody else. He didn't have a lot of clothes.
Right.
And so when you get to talking about, you get to panning on what are those?
He gonna fight.
He's getting ready to wear you out.
Right.
And so when we had him in his class, I made a deal with him. So we had this session that we called. So I took all of these playing cards and I dealt them all out to everybody. I said, make a hand and then throw away the ones you don't want. Make a hand. So everybody made a hand. And so the object of this was called play the hand you were dealt.
I love it.
And so all of the stuff that they had this is all of the stuff that you can make something good out of. And all of the stuff they threw away was representative of all of the things that you wish you can change about your life. And so after we had these conversations, he said he loved the fact he had his dad, but he hated the fact that they didn't have no money. And so he said, I got in trouble all the time. I get kicked out because people pick on me. And when they say stuff about this is my reaction. So I said, I'm gonna make a deal with you. I said, I can help you with your clothes. I'm a barber. I can keep your hair cut.
See?
But you gotta change them grades and you gotta change that behavior. So a young man that I knew just went to prison. I had to go and pick up all of his stuff that he left behind.
All of those clothes.
In there was a nice pair of Jordans that were brand new that this guy went to prison. When he went to prison, he had to leave his stuff behind, his property.
Right.
So I said to the young man, they in my car. We had Hammond. So what size is your foot? Voila. Same size as the shoes that's in the car. I said, I tell you what, to show you that I'm in business, if you make a deal with me, I'll put something down to make sure that I'm true to my word of what I say to you.
Right.
I went out and got them Jordans. He made a deal with me, shook hands. I gave him them Jordans. And Deanna Ross, she was the principal over there.
She went to school with us too, baby.
She did.
Yep.
And so I pulled them Jordans out that bag. And this boy did the Michael Jackson and did the spin and stood up on them tippy toes.
Right.
But he wore those shoes, she said, every day. But a few weeks before COVID hit, he came and showed me, he pulled up his grades on his phone. He said, I want to show you something. And he showed me them grades. And that boy went from D's and E's to A's, B's, and C's.
See.
He brought them grades up.
And that's just meeting people
Where they are. I went to Facebook because ain't nobody gonna go to Facebook and say, hey, I'm broke, my family poor.
Right.
But I said, and we use our platforms for all kind of crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I went on there and said, who has a size 30 waist, who has a 9 shoe and a medium shirt? I need all of these clothes for this kid. I'll be his voice. He ain't gonna go on social media and say, I'm poor and I don't have no clothes.
Right.
But if this is what's getting you kicked out of school, I'll be your voice to help get you some clothes. We ain't got to tell nobody. We ain't got to go public. Mm-hmm. We ain't got to go live so we can show
this is what I'm doing. Right. Right.
No, but allow you to pick out all of the stuff that you need. Mm-hmm. And if it even means something, if we have to wash your clothes so that you got clean clothes while y'all staying with somebody else, we'll do that too.
That's a big thing, Janard. And that's what a lot of people now don't do. Reach back and help and bring people forward.
So when you see a dark kid that had nobody stepped in and say, we can help you with some clothes, he might be one of those kids that we looking at, that you can look in his eyes and see no life in them.
That's amazing.
But the love and the pat on the back to say, I'm proud of you, just the little stuff that count. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm proud of you, man. Keep it up. You know, I'm proud of what you're doing. Those little things that count, that when you have it in your power to do good or to be kind to people, do it.
And then that's going to make him seek out and, but what changed you? Mm-hmm. Tell me about this God fellow that you serve. And that's what matters. That's that new babe. That's how you draw them in. You can't draw them in talking about Elijah and Josephat and Job and Jacob, and then they be like, okay, we understand, but that don't have nothing to do with me.
Right. I don't know Joseph. I don't know Elijah.
I don't know Jacob.
I don't know Matthew,
all of that. Right.
But I do know you.
Right.
If I can see proof in your life that you changed, then introduce me to the God that changed you.
Right. That's what it's all about. Yeah. And that's why you are baptizing how many people Sunday?
This Sunday. We're supposed to be baptizing 19 people.
19 people.
That's 19 people and 4 baby christenings.
That's amazing, Janard. I'm so happy for you.
Now the list is longer than that, but so far at 19 and 4 baby dedications this Sunday.
God is blessing.
He's blessing us.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy about it? Somebody had to tell me. Our church is one of the fastest growing churches. But guess what? I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking for quantity. I'm trying to produce quality.
And I know you, Janard, and I know
Amen.
you could preach to 10 people or 10,000, and you would deliver the
It's gonna be the
same
same.
message.
Because them 10 is just as important as them 10,000.
Yep. And that's why I know, God, this is your season.
Yes.
This is your season, and God is just gonna outpour blessings into your church, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I was so proud, like years, this just didn't happen, yesterday, like over the process of years, and when you came back and you got married and changed your life, and I'm like, what are you up to now? What are you trying to do? But then you not only talk the talk, you walk the walk. And that's what men need to see. Men.
Amen.
Mama can't teach a man how to be a man. She can do the best job that she can. But there's certain things that a woman can't teach a man how to do. And so for you going out and taking time with these young men, I applaud you for that. And I wish that it would be, you could get together with more pastors, because there's a lot of pastors that want to do it.
And I love to work with any of them.
Young and old. They just don't know what to do,
Black, white,
right,
Baptist, Methodist, Episcopalian, Muslim.
Right.
I don't care.
Right. It's
As
about
long
the
as we can work
people.
together, it's about
the people. And if we get more minds like you, we can change Flint.
We can.
I can see it. I can feel it right here in this room. We can change Flint if we have more people thinking like you.
And so we're praying that it is so.
Mm-hmm.
When they come out of, the hustle and bustle of trying to be important, we'll have people to come together and say, let's do what we can about the churches in the city.
Right.
Or we're going to repeat the same sin as our forefathers.
Right.
Everybody's going to be divided. 1,000 churches in our city,
Mm-hmm.
and none of them really fellowship with each other because they all in competition with one another.
Mm-hmm. I want to, he got new carpet. He got more members. His anniversary is on the same Sunday as my anniversary. Child, I get so tired of that stuff.
That'll never happen on my watch. Bless you with your anniversary, sir.
Right.
But I'm not in competition with
Right.
anybody.
And that's good. And that's how it should be in our world. Because like you said, if we can't get together as Christian fellowship leaders, we can't help our community.
We can't help our community.
We can't have a preacher delivering this message on the north side and this preacher delivering a different message on the south side. We need everybody to get together
On the same page.
Right. And I was out last week with Mayor Weaver in the Regencies.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people out there that I see the potential in the children. I see the children that they faces lit up when they got those book bags and those school supplies. And we shouldn't have to wait until school time or election year to go out and care about these different type of communities.
Exactly.
This should be like an everyday way of life.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I appreciate about Dr. Weaver, because she could just send up some postings in the mail every day. She could make phone calls. She didn't have to take the time to come up there and talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
She could have came and sat for 5 minutes and dropped off some brochures, and we know how they do.
Right.
And left. But I all the time I'm like, well, Mary, what you about to do today? Mary, she's out there walking down Holbrook.
She in them streets.
False, and the people appreciate seeing her, and she can relate to them.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells me, this is where I grew up. My father was this. My mother was a school teacher. She has 2 daughters out here. Her husband, and it's just a dynamic family unit, and she needs to be back in her throne to bring the city back together with pastors like you. And I appreciate you.
We appreciate
I appreciate you. Mickey, we got any questions? Anything you want to say?
They want to know what Chris Caleb said, because he said he joined late. He want to know where your church is located at.
We're located at 2920 West Court Street. We start at 12:30 p.m. And we come as you are, so don't worry about it.
You don't see him up here in no 3-piece suit with a tie and stuff. He got him now, because Janard always been bad his whole life now.
But we're not concerned about it.
Right.
And because that's the type of crowd we in, don't be surprised when you come in Sunday. I'm preaching in a shirt
Mhm.
And
I've seen you.
I would
Yep.
take that tie and that jacket off and put on a t-shirt.
2920, right?
2920 West Court
I'll put
Street.
it in the
Okay.
from the pen.
I've seen you in t-shirt and jeans before preaching up there.
And that's what's gonna happen.
Because you got to be able to relate to the people.
Yeah. And it's not about my clothes.
Right. Nope.
And it's hard for me to tell you come as you are, and then I come in my 3-piece.
Mhm.
No, I
Right.
can't do
So you
that.
can't do that. And it, like you said, you got to change your heart and the mindset of the people.
Mhm.
Because everybody's not bad. Everybody's not bad. And I do believe everybody has potential. It just takes someone to bring it out of them.
It does.
And so
It does.
I thank you, Janard, so much. Mickey,
welcome.
Mickey, what else we got? We got anything else? Anything we need to clear up? Mickey, you got some questions?
No,
the good
no. I always talk to my barber. all the
I
time.
know, but
He-
yeah,
I'm his barber.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, his barber.
We have good conversations in the barber
do it
chair.
all the time.
Right.
He give me them heavenly cuts, so you know.
Yeah, the heavenly cuts. That's
Keep them
the.
together. All right.
No, I'm happy the
looking.
brother came on because I've been wanting to get him on.
He has.
I am too. And he told me, he was like, Janard. I was like, Janard, oh my God.
He told me, and I was on my way to Cedar Point today to enjoy myself one last time before the season was over, and I canceled that Cedar Point trip. I said, I'm coming
Oh, for little old me.
for the low year.
Oh, thanks, Janard. I just love you so much. This is my brother.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for joining in. Again, if you are looking for a church home, please, Pastor Janard Lakes.
Come see us.
One more time, what's the name of your church?
The Spirit of Victory Outreach Ministries at 2920 West Court
Do
Street.
you got anywhere they can send donations? That's what Chris Cable said. Where can he send donations?
Yep, our church has a cash app. It's $SOV. That's Spirit of Victory Flint. So it's $SOV Flint. Yep.
Chris, did you need mine too? It's $Wyntis. I can preach.
He
You
didn't
know
say
what? You
that.
know
He
what? I
just-
can
he
preach
said that.
too.
No, this to help
Okay,
the brother.
I've been reading the book of Revelation. And I told Pastor Hill I got a sermon because Pastor Hill said he get tired of preaching. And so I was in Revelation, and the topic of my sermon is going to be John, you my last home. He laughed like that too, Janard. But I'm ready, Pastor. I'm ready. But thank you all again. Again, if you Janard starts at 12:30 p.m. for those who like to get up a little later.
Oh, you got a nightlife.
If you got a
And
nightlife
you're still struggling.
and you're tired,
And you're a rooms person.
but if
Come
you
see us.
come see him. But if you get up early and you're fresh and you're the early bird, come see Mount Pisgah Baptist Church, 6415 Clyde Road, where the pastor is Reverend Wallace Hill III. And we start at 10 a.m. Facebook Live, or you can join us in person. We would love to have you. So again, thank you, Janard.
Thank you for having
And
me.
you will be back again.
All right.
And thank you all. Good night.